Thank you for having me here today. My name is Salinas, Senior Director at PhD, and we'll be talking about how we converge data and technology in order to reach near-market health consumers. And specifically, we'll be talking about something that really impacts almost everybody here in this room today, and that is something as fun as the flu. In the United States, 40 million people are impacted by the flu every single year. And when you're a brand like Theraflu, another GSK product, the Theraflu is always running into an issue of how do we actually reach in-market, near-market consumers for flu medicine, which sometimes when the flu comes out of nowhere, or you pretty much do not even want to be in market for a flu medicine to begin with. So how do you really identify those types of consumers? It's very unlike other categories in the programmatic space. If you're a CPG category, a CPG product, you're remarketing to people based off of past purchases that they've made, maybe using Amazon data or third-party data. If you're an auto advertiser, you're remarketing to people based off of the car websites that they're actually going to. But again, something like Theraflu, which the flu comes out of nowhere, it's really hard to really identify those near-market or in-market consumers. So at PhD, we took a step back, and we had to really understand what is the life cycle of the flu to understand these consumers better. And we found that after being affected by the virus, it takes about 4 days to actually start showing symptoms for the virus, or for the flu. So we really had only a 1 to 3 day window in order to make sure that their flu was top of mind for these consumers. And the only data available to us at the time was CDC data. This is the Center for Disease Control in the United States. And this data was very old and stale for us. It was aggregated by physicians, and by the time it's made available to us in the programmatic space, people were already pretty much done with their flu. They've already made their flu medicine purchases. And on top of that, this data was aggregated at the state level. So it wasn't really allowing us to get too granular. And we knew that we had to get more granular because the flu, it really takes a village to spread the flu. For example, if this half of the room was infected by the flu today, their flu would be very smart to start targeting this half of the room, because this half of the room would be that much more likely to be impacted by the flu, because as one community, the flu virus spreads very fast within a single community. So we wanted to be very granular, community-based approach in order to really keep Theraflu top of mind. And so we found this company called Sickweather. Sickweather does social listening. They're a health network that specifically does social listening. And so they scan social media and understand if people are doing things like tweeting about, I have a fever, I have the flu, I'm going to see the doctor. And they can understand that and map out these social media conversations across the United States. On top of that, obviously people are not very literal, as you were mentioning. People are not very literal on social media. This Sickweather data can identify if someone was saying, I have a fever, or someone else saying, I have Bieber fever. Obviously, those are two completely separate conversations. We only care about the former. And the weather.com was actually already utilizing this Sickweather data on their website within a flu and cold tracker on their website. And we thought at PhD, how can we take this data that was only currently living on the weather.com website, and how do we break it out of just the walls of that website, and how can we use it in real-time programmatic activation across the entire web whenever and wherever we need to reach consumers? So that's exactly what we did. We integrated this Sickweather data. It was a first-of-a-kind data integration into our DSP, which we utilized the Trade Desk DSP for this. All this Sickweather data was integrated into the Trade Desk, and we were able to see in real time where social media conversations were happening based off of people talking about things like the flu. On top of that, we went one step further. We also integrated the Weather Channel data, because that was another determinant of how fast the flu can spread in specific communities. So if a community was experiencing hot weather or humid weather, cold weather, or high wind temperatures, we knew that those specific communities were that much more likely to spread the flu if social media conversations were starting to pop in those communities. So in the trade desk, we also integrated all of our private marketplace inventory at PhD. So again, that we can target people across device, across mobile, desktop, and tablet. And we're able to reach them on websites like food.com, Huffington Post, and CBS Sports. And for the results, people that were exposed to this targeting tactic were 1.5 to 2x more likely to convert versus other channels and other targeting tactics. This also, because of this, we also saw a 4% increase in sales across the TheraFlu portfolio year over year. And GSK is going to be increasing their spend in this targeting tactic, not just for TheraFlu, but also for some other products in their portfolio. Thank you.
Mike? Okay, thank you very much again. Well, I feel very intimate with the presentation because I caught the clue this year, so. Anyways, any questions, please?
Hi. You mentioned cross-device. Can you tell us a little bit more how you've been able to segment each screen efficiency and what cross-device technology you used?
Yeah, so the trade desk has integrations with lots of different cross-device technologies. And they also have are building out their own device graph, so we were able to use that in order to target cross-device. And so we were able to ingest during the ad call exactly what their latitude and longitude coordinates were to understand if they were currently living in a high index flu area in order for us to target them. And we were able to do that. We could ingest that latitude and longitude data across mobile and desktop.
One more question. Very quick question, please.
Yes. Thank you. Nice presentation. How representative is social media data on the flu, and wouldn't you more likely have a panel of egomaniacs who report everything who happen to feel bad on that day? So how do you use that relative to other data?
Oh boy, that was a very quick one.
Yeah. So that's exactly what we were using before, kind of a self-identified flu data. But the problem with that was that by the time it was available to us to actually activate on, it was pretty stale for us. So with the social media data, we pretty much we kind of took what the norm was for different communities. So if a certain community only saw, maybe 10 tweets a day, I'm making that up, but 10 tweets a day in this type of flu conversation. Once we saw that starting to increase, that's when the trade desk would activate to start actually delivering ads within that community.
Thank you very much, Brett. Big round of applause for Brett Salinas.